Thubten Dagi Lu. Panchen Thubten Dagi Yi. Panchen Thubten Dagi Yi.
Father, your holy mind and my mind.
Father, your holy mind and my mind. Mother, your holy mind and my mind.
Mother, your holy mind and my mind.
Tayeme Jigdu Chingilo.
O Father, please bless me. So that your holy body, speech, and mind becomes inseparable from mine.
O Mother, please bless me. So that your holy body, speech, and mind, qualities and actions, become inseparable from mine.
Om Muni Muni Mahamudra Shakya Muni Soha.
Sangye Tamche Debe Ku. Dorje Zimbe Ngowani. Koncho Sumge Tawate. Lama Namla Chatse Lo. Yusum Chochro Shobe Lamadam. Rinchen Chosuma Chawa Tamchela. Techim Mebe Tenyang Gyatsache. Shindu Nyambe Ludru Chatselo. Om Namo Jushri, Namo Sushri, Namo Samshri. Om Namo Jushri, Namo Sushri, Namo Samshri. Om Namo Jushri, Namo Sushri, Namo Samshri.
Baba Kenjo Sona Chan Salon Doge Doge Tiba Tich Janden de Jabi Kawa Shage Gumbira Genonge Gendo Chimbo Chanjo Sembe Gendo Chimbo Taji Doji Tise Janden de Samo Novo Chijo Chijo Nonja Tingenza Nyamba Juza Yan Tise Chanjo Samba Samba Chimbo Baba Chile Samo Ju Sherajo Pada Shamba Sami Shivanya Namba Tachi Pombo Ngabo Teda Ronjo Pombo Namba Kawo Tene Sanje Jeki Seda Dem Charipo Chanjo Samba Samba Chimba Onjo Landi Keje Mezo Jebo Kanda La Jeje Jebo Jodo Jembo Sami Jebo Jebo Deba Ticho Tala Paracha Keje Mevada Chanjo Samba Samba Chimba Baba Chere Oji Zada Jembo Jaranda Jebo Landi Keje Mezo Jebo 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 Allah la Jeje Jebo Jodo Jembo Sami Jebo Jebo Deba Dinye Dana Bada Bo Jada Jada Jeje Tomba Na Yonda Ba Jezo Dawo Zotomba Tomba Nizo Zozo Mani Tomba Nine Jema Nanda Jedanda Jedan Namba Shema Nadam Jeba Jeda Jedan Jedan Ba Nide Zini Meba Ma Jeba Ma Jema Meba Jema Na Jo Jo Meba Ka Meba Jeba Jeda Yana Damba Nilo Zime Tsawa Meda Naba Jiba Me 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 No Me No Me Jime Me Zime Jime Jime Rume Jime Do Mige Kame Bani Ije Kame Ije Naba Jibe Koji Badayem Ma Jiba Me Ma Jiba Saba Me Bani Kashi Me Kashi Sebe Badayem Tiye Da Don Da Gojo Don Gomba La La Me
Toba Mato Baya Mato Shade Bada Dayana Shandosam Toba Mibishira Jada Bada Dashambala Tiji Nedizin Lajibon Toba Midi Jijilo Shada Nini Nini Bataj Juzalana Bashivi Sanje Sanje Chanshiraji Bada Dasham Tini Alana Mibaya Davazu Chanchodo Mbazo Saj
Yatavena Chera
Bada Dashim Bima Jibashim Bima Lana Mibima Minya Bada Nyabima Dunga Tanjeda Dashiva Shivi Bizivana Dimba Shiva Jede Kiraji Bada Dashim Bima Tiyadanga Dingadi Badanga Bada Sanga Dimba Diso Shariba Chanjo Samba Samba Shimbe Dada Chiraji Bada Shamba Sama Lava Java Tini 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 Gide Chanjo Samba
Jimbo Baba Mochura Chawa Chane Leso Leso Jiva Dede Jiva Dede Chada Chijo Temba Tijo Chera Shamba Samana Chava Chate Tijo Chava
Naja Jizo Yana Wajan Dede
Gazane Tedo Temba Charan Todi Chanjo Samba Samba Jimbo Baba Chere
Ojo Dada Jeda Dembe Koro Jeda Dada Meda Lama Yeda Jeda Jibe Jile Yaraji Chondin Jizo Malam Vade Do
Kala Jibe Nenjo Tamba
Muje Doje Maye Doje Jogo Pola Maye Baje Nezo Ganjo Sola Chaze
Aga Samara
Ando Shandala Sambara Yo
Aga Samarada Chandara Samaraya Be Deya Tava Gajin Para Sangadi Bodhi So Baba Kenjo Sanji Kai Tembi Doji Rado Chawa Chichi Tage Pati Churi Memba Tanji Shadam Kuri So Giri Tonra Chichi
Jewa Na Mende Neve Jenda Chawa Na Jemba Choji Beson Soja Taji Deja Denda Dede Jo Gade Laje Gwenji Toga Neda Onje Jende Zaji Jewa Gwenji Losanja Zena Jewa Nindo Shiza Deje Nanga Zenje Bende Deje Lama Jibe Nanga Lala Deve Zena Shenjo Na Demba Jijo Gwenje Josa Shija Jama Je Lojo No Gozana Ye Jenjo Deshe
Trabe Bejo
Lome Dembe Wada Dembe Dede Lasha De Yewa Je Nazo Medo Na Jeje Dove Na Zeje 我就也只见叫做你是那心就就落结巴，我记得面对的扫把也，另外也送面给姐姐，结巴当把送姐妹的叫，年年结巴这边说笑，你面对如老子姐姐旁边年姐的姐，我不姐姐老姐在旁了，大家怎么特别样？ 于是那么当把接那接就搞了，今天这些，这到咱别的接的马拉萨接加把我到，难道也是一类心把也送就搞了江南面了？如果是把你这的把到面那天把就当给今天上边给我。 别当着高老高别那给我姐姐老张这把，地面宁保证多这些小妹妹这位的这些人，这边我把前面要的我妈的娘子上面那赶紧给别做些做好，我上这边小老手啊的，最后管到家娃做好。 今年我从这边的这往边南走的年了，感觉怎样？南无摩羯呀，南无摩摩达呀，念着个son结结呀，别当别上结这个多，叫多多结讲讲老祖。就当天这我结巴当下年纪上真讲吧，老总就叫就进吧，就娘多多不新鲜了，你说鸟就结结的，就上天叫我结别呀，就要爸爸见别老祖，就当天这我结巴当下年纪上真讲吧，老总就叫就进吧，就娘多多不新鲜了，一张就高我进去。昨天老东我你别急，今天老早找不老苏我，就当天这我就把当下年纪上真就把，老总就叫就进步，就娘多多我进去郎家养鸡这不松干，周姐姐电话真别做，到天前别叫做老苏我。就当天这我就把当下年纪上真就把。老宋就叫叫进步，就娘多多不了你接了你去当兵这些年，规定去的小面子，把所去就听老说我你也当这这我接吧，上年纪上真就把那老宋就叫叫进步。就娘多多不进去了，这年纪年就多些。前面些日子过年别终究他妈帮着老说我，就当这这我就把当下年纪上真讲吧，老说就叫就进步，就娘多多不进去了，去情愿忙活，你这一点别接真的，老早天日周报老说我。就当这这我就把当下年纪上真就我，老宋就叫就进步也就娘多多我进去，我从就把当娘个我没给个接着个。开着上街也就老说完，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就把，老孙就这就进步也就娘多多不新鲜，就老当街电把老鬼跌到也没当街，谢谢老早去老说完，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就把。老宋就叫就进步，就娘多多我进去了，刚多去进去马的，进去的娘的到进步，出去给你这这老说，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就吧，老宋就叫就进步也就娘多多我进去，就老早决定你别去，真去去娘别叫你。特别年轻真把老说话，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就把，老宋就叫就进步，就娘多多把进去了，啥姐姐当去的去，决定去的就弄给我，这些工作接着老说话，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就把。老孙就叫叫进步也就娘多多不进去，这老早去见真的老天地偏多的些，也就老早也是老说话，就当这这我结巴当下年纪上真就把，老孙就叫叫进步也就娘多多不进去，一生也没老些，老年也三年安年。今天老早真来老说话，也当这这我就把当下年纪上真就话，老孙就叫就进步，就娘多多不新鲜了，也老早今日年纪，天地别难的到这把这就老早能接老说话。也当这这我就把当下年纪上真就话，老宋就叫就进步也就娘多多不进去，也老面年纪老把那天把那这样弄的，真心一切亲亲老说话，也当这这我就把当下年纪上真就话。 老僧就家就金宝，出牛东东我进去了，老僧老马那天边，要到月光多节节，我节节马我强把老所我，就当这就我就把那家你街上人就把。老僧就家就金宝也出牛多多我进去，别当别上街我迷糊也就别去见面子。并且把你也是老所你就当这就我结巴，像你这上真就把那老僧就家就金宝。我心去了那些老僧用做了自己也准备大些，看着我多久了说，就当这就我结巴那像你这上真就把。老僧就家就金宝也就娘多多个心情，定个这当你把心却自从这地三地，就是大妈帮着老说，就当这就我结巴当像你这上真就把。老僧就家就金宝也就娘多多个心情。明明见这些明明的所有结就往前边，要去这边多久了说话，就当这就我结巴当像你介绍人就嘛，老僧就家就金宝也就娘的多个心情，得到一年就到今年上就也就上我心。跟着天子真知老说，就当这就我结巴到像你介上身就我，老孙就家家金宝，求娘的多我亲戚老僧老姐多我的今年写着的点别结亲，老老真的结亲老说的，就当这就我结巴。常年节上身就把那拉僧就家家金宝，说娘的到我心切了，年头节真没马贵，拉僧节点别金宝，老僧天也出把老所玩的，越当这就我切把，常年节上身就把拉僧就家家金宝也就娘的到我心切了，节叫我年把老僧。阿弥陀佛，那给我姐姐给的叫做老苏，就当这就我切巴那上的些上真就我，老僧就家就金宝也就娘的都不心切了，老僧的家去去去，给我的用了身体我这些我想把老苏，就当这就我切巴那上的些上真就我。老僧就家就金宝也就娘的都我心切，这边接这边给唱给，他这些老僧身体，给就你们往不啰嗦，就当这这我结巴当像你些上真就吧。金宝也就娘的都我心切，为老僧这也人路就接着这边老大成。今天天别见面老说，给当这就我结巴那像你的上真就嘛，老僧就家就金宝也就娘的都我心切，金宝年年节的这人娘多节的到节节，节节公主节节老说，给当这就我结巴那像你的上真就嘛。老孙就家家金宝也就娘的都我心切了，你面前年少自己到你姐姐的别结亲，从前人就让天老说，就当这就我结巴那像你姐上身就老孙就家家金宝也就娘的都我心切。把多业缘见他三年，年前就去叫你个，用这给你叫做老说，越当这就我结巴，像你这长身就我，老孙就家家亲宝，求娘的到我心间，去了见看这头脑的，人你给这个公包，把这人给你妈老说，越当这就我结巴，像你这长身就我。老孙就家家金宝也求娘的到不金钱，如果了江北金王金，大马给东北江钱，你是真了江苏老祖王的，就当这求我结巴，
Chani je chansen chongpa la sun jo cha chenpo Chonyo do do wa chenje la yon tong te lo do tambe che Nama ye ja ye gongpa ye pe chenje tambe la so wa Ye dang te che wa che pa Chani je chansen chongpa la sun jo cha chenpo Chonyo do do wa chenje la ye ja wa ni pe do che je Kwa de je de ja pe Tenje lo zo yi chi lo so wa de je dang de je wo che wa Chang de je chang de jo wa da la song jo cha cha chen wa Chu nyang da do wa chen che la che do de na wo lo sa Mo de ye dong wa do la wo je de do de chen de lo so wa Ye dang de che wa da chang de je chang de jo wa La song jo cha cha chen po ye chu nyang da da wa chen che Ye chang da gu me de sa de ding ge de je ba da Chen che sa ye la ma la so wa Ye dang de che wa da chang de je chang de jo wa La song jo cha cha chen po ye chu nyang da da wa chen che Ye la ma sang je sa dong wa da Nie go wa la xian ba lo ba Ma lo gen zhe ye guo qian nian La ju dang ding de ma ma yin Pe song jo cha cha chen po ye Jun nyang da da wa xian che la Pa che ye ko da da ge Pa che ye song da da ge Pa che ye tu da da ge De ye me che do xian che la Ma che ye ko da da ge ni Ma che ye song da da ge Ma che ye do da da ge De me che do xian che lo Sanje Chedo Soje Jonala Shanjo Bado Dane Jasoje Dagi Cheche Jebe Senamaje Rola Benjo San Robara Sho Sanje Chedo Soje Jonala Shanjo Bado Dane Jasoje Dagi Cheche Jebe Senamaje Rola Benjo San Robara Sho Sanje Chedo Soje Jonala Chanjo Bado Dane Jasoje Dagi Cheche Jebe Senamaje Ajendro Bara Sho Rado La Me Do Mo Je Bodo Jajo La So Je Jo Cho La Chawa Je Banam Sanje Sun Bara Do Je Je De Je Je Ban Da Je Je Dang Be Jin Je Chang Nan De Je Namo La Ye Ke Do Lo Do Ne Je Ke Chu Ta Do Ma Ye Ke Na Ro Wa Kun Je Da Na Je Sa Ba Tang Je Ke Do Da Che Ten Do Tang Je Ke Do Da Ke Che Ten Do
So, make a short generation of motivation today from as Panchen Losang Choky Gyaltsen said, by taking the Guru, the Idam and the very subtle mind as inseparable, by seeing everything that appears as inseparable of the nature of great bliss and emptiness, as manifestation from the Guru Buddha. By completing the complete path of training, practice with effort in such path. By seeing the Guru, the Idam, and one's own mind as inseparable, and as one's own Guru, root Guru, as the Idam, such as Yamantaka or Heruka Chakra Sambara or Guya Samaja, to see it as inseparable, and one's own mind, to see the three as inseparable. First, our own root Guru, by thinking well about them, as the essence of all refuge, and as in the appearance of the Idam, such as Yamantaka or Heruka Chakra Sambara, as the Guru, as the Idam is inseparable, as seeing in this way. Not only that, as the Guru is with joy, in a joyful way it absorbs through our own central channel, and becomes inseparable with the natural, unborn, clear mind, or very subtle mind, a clear light. And at that, by reflecting upon emptiness, you may mention that Guru Buddha become inseparable with a very subtle mind of clear light. By thinking in this way. So by that, whatever appears only in the aspect of great bliss and emptiness, just as the mandala and the deities of the mandala. So wherever you go, whatever you see, it will always appearing in the aspect of great bliss. It's difficult to see it in this way. It's difficult to see things as bliss and emptiness, everything in the nature of bliss and emptiness. By thinking first in the wisdom that unites great bliss and emptiness. By that, everything that appears in the aspect of great bliss and emptiness, everything that appears in the aspect of bliss, and this that appears in the nature of bliss, it lacks inherent existence. With that you should think about emptiness. So everything that appears in the aspect of the union of great bliss and emptiness. All the beings that appear in the forms of deities or Buddhas. of male and female deities, like if you're as of a Hiruka or a Vajravarahi, as for instance. But that's practicing the Kirim and the generation and the completion stage, inseparable. First thinking about the generation stage, then in the completion stage. In the generation stage is mainly the three transformations of death into the Dharmakaya, the birth into the Nirmanakaya, and the Sambhogakaya and the rebirth into Nirmanakaya. By thinking well about that, then in the completion stage there are many levels of the completion stage. First there is isolation of speech, isolation of mind, illusory body and clear light. So we need to combine the practice of generation and completion stage. So was said by Panchen Losang Choky Gyaltsen. That needs also to be inseparable of the complete path of the gradual path to enlightenment of Lamarim. The gradual path to enlightenment and the Vajrayana path should be united, should be inseparable of each other. The thoughts of Lamaring and Lojong, as much as you can, from starting or relying correctly upon the Guru, up to the generation of the bodhicitta. Need to think well about it, as much as you can. Not only that, on top need to train also on the generation of the mind by equalizing and exchanging self with others. Need to complete also the mind training completely. And inseparable from that, you need to practice with that tantra. The Panchen Losang Choky Gyaltsen urges to practice in this way. Even though it's very difficult to gain realizations. But if every day, if you think like this, it's already very good, it's already very important. It will give you great understanding and great imprints. Sutra and Tantra practice should be practiced united, and this brings great benefit. At least of placing great imprints for this and future lives. Always to be possible to see and be inseparable, and always be able to practice the Vajrayana practice. This type of imprints are left at least. So these things are very important. As Gyaltsen Rinpoche would say, as all Buddhas are of the same meaning. I see it like this. I see all Buddhas as the same. It never appears to my mind, and I accept all Buddhas as being the same. I don't know if this is if this is Buddhist or if this is non-Buddhist, but I accept it in this way, that all Buddhas are the same. I see it in this way. This is what was again Kyaje Trijang Dorje Chang used to say this to Geshe Thubten Rinpoche. To Geshe Thubten Rinpoche taught me. All Buddhas are truly equal. They are all manifestation of pure wisdom. The qualities of body, speech, mind, quality and action, they're all the same qualities of all Buddhas. There's not one Buddha superior or the other inferior than the others. All the Buddhas, they have accumulated the same amount of merit and wisdom, purify negativities in the same manner. When I say equal, I take for example Buddha Maitreya and Shakyamuni, they are equal in qualities, in actions. So equal means the same. So in that later Rinpoche was saying that all Buddhas, they are equal, they are the same. I see it in this way. It's something very important, very, very special to think and easy to think in this way. When we say that is the essence of all the refuges, and it's easy to think in this way. When we think that all are the same, then it's easy, without difficulty, of great benefit and bringing great benefit to oneself. So if we can think in this way, I think it's very important. That is a short explanation to generate the motivation, a short introduction. Now we go back to the text. So we read from the text of Doha says, there is no tantra, no mantra, no dhyana to be thought of. They are all causes to make our mind a mistake. A mind that is pure by nature cannot be polluted by a dhyana, while being and happiness do not cause turmoil of your inner self. The joy of pleasure from food, drink and sleep fill up daily cycle constantly again and again. With such a Dharma practice, the aim of the next mundane life will be accomplished. With a kick, it tramples the head of the confused worldly people. In the universe, where no winds and mind moves, the sun and moon do not operate. The ignorant ones should uproot their mind in that abode. By means of shooting the arrow, all the advice has been given. So this line is a little bit difficult to understand, but the meaning of these verses are explained in the commentary just below. So it says, hence, if I am to explain its meaning a little bit, I should say that the mind of clear light, which is natural, primordial, and inborn, is the renowned Dharmakaya of base. With this very object, the mind of clear light is directly experienced by the power of meditating. It becomes free of investigation, analysis, expression, and description. Therefore, there is nothing that the dhyana of investigation and analysis can do, and also there is nothing that can explain it. Due to not ascertaining it by the power of meditation, the samsaric mudra betrays all transmigrators. Despite them being betrayed, their natural and primordial mind is not taken or appropriated by anybody. Because of the time of that, the three visions along with clear light appear to all the sentient beings of the three realms, and in general and specifically to those of womb-born possessing the six constituents. Although they appear thus, the ordinary beings are not able to transform them into the path. Beside that, the majority of sentient beings in the desire realms are fond of unifying into sexual union, and they talk about it again and again, yet they do not know the essential point, which is the great bliss. It is as the Doha says, draw people from home to home, talk about the topic, they do not thoroughly know the point of great bliss. Whereas the yogis, with a primordial mind, that is the nature of great bliss, take the emptiness as object, and set themselves only on it. They do not operate the elaboration of any good thing or bad things. As for generating the realization of such Mahamudra, if one is experienced in penetrating the winds into the central channel by training himself in each of the preceding paths, either into the previous life or during the first part of this life, he can actualize the Mahamudra of clear light even by observing the observed object, such as a mind without any thought. Therefore, the previous Kagyupa masters made a convention, the simultaneous one, for such a person, as the Tibetan alphabetical text says. To a person who is with a reminder of training from before, one should teach all at once or simultaneously. And this point is similar to, he said this point is similar also to what Lama Chopa says in his clear lamp text. For somebody who is familiar to the penetration of winds into the central channel, it seems that the wind is gathered in the central channel by paying attention to any sort of observed object. So now Geshe Rinpoche will explain a little bit the meaning of this. They are both verses. Without no tantra means no lineage. Without no sound, no mantra, no sound. Dhyana means concentration. When entering into the state of the very subtle mind of clear light and meditating on emptiness, on the non-dual union of great bliss and emptiness, at that moment there is no any need of any other type of concentration. At the time there is no sound or no any other type of concentration. These are all causes to make one's own mind confused. So through the path of meditation, as the winds enter into the central channel, and by that generating great bliss, and through which meditating, realizing emptiness, at that very such a mind is the actual state of meditation. There is no need of any other stages of samadhi. So, as our very subtle mind of clear light is also called the basis of Dharmakaya, because they that talk a lot about this unborn natural state of mind of clear light. It's the very, very subtle mind. It's the very subtle mind that we all have. That in the moment that we all die, it manifests. It's also the mind of death, the clear light of death also. It's a very, very subtle mind. That it's always with us. In the moment of death, the gross and subtle minds, they stop. But the very subtle mind continues. As explained yesterday, when we say the very, very subtle mind and the wind that it depends, they all together. One depending upon each other. So, this very subtle mind is also called the basis of Dharmakaya. So we have Dharmakaya, the basis of Dharmakaya, basis of paths and of result. So by meditated and possible to experience it directly. The moment of experience, of entering into the state of clear light through meditation, at that moment there is no any type of analysis or any conceptual mind. There is no other thing, and there is nothing to explain or nothing to it. Everything goes beyond words. So when we are not in such state of union of great bliss and emptiness, then in this moment, in the moment of turning into samsara, through the call, through defilements and karma, all sentient beings enter into samsara out of one's own defilements and karma. But even though it's like this, in each and every sentient being, they all have a very subtle mind of clear light. Such a very subtle mind of clear light that all sentient beings have. No one can take out of anyone. Every sentient being has such clear mind, such clear light mind. For all sentient beings, especially those that have a wound born with the 6 constituents. In the moment of death, we have the 3 visions and clear light. The white vision, the red vision, the black vision. so gradually as it would manifest, this reaches already the subtle mind. There are different levels of subtleness. The first one is little more rough, then slightly gradually get more subtle. So the white vision is more rough, more gross, and then the red is more subtle, and the black vision is more subtle. And then appears the unborn clear light, which is even much very, very subtle mind. I think in this way. So every sentient being manifests clear light in the moment of death. Even though if they see it like this doesn't make them not to be ordinary beings. They're not able to transform this into the path. The simple fact of having the very clear, very subtle mind of clear light doesn't put beings in the center. Not only that, in the desire realm, beings again and again enter into sexual union and experience bliss of the union, sexual union, but still, even though they have no idea how to use the very subtle mind that manifests in the moment of union. As the yogis, through the state of meditation, by generating such great bliss, they use it as to use the very subtle mind to manifest as great bliss and to meditate by that on emptiness, which is of great benefit. It's an incredible method of great benefit. Ordinary people, even if they have great bliss, they have no idea how to use it, and it just becomes again another cause to turn around in samsara. It cannot go as a cause for enlightenment. The yogis, once developing great bliss, with such great bliss, it transforms into the mind that realizes emptiness. First realizing emptiness through mental image, and gradually by familiarizing to meditate, realizing emptiness directly, instead of developing what is called the illusory body and the clear light, and by uniting both of that to reaching the state of enlightenment. So, as it was also said in the Doha, though the people come from home to home talk about this topic, they do not rightly know the point of such great bliss. So they don't know the meaning and the point of using correctly great bliss. Whereas while the yogis, they use the primordial mind of great bliss. By practicing the Vajrayana, the yogis that practice the Vajrayana correctly, by generating the unborn, very subtle mind in the state of great bliss, and within that they meditate single-pointedly in the state of emptiness. By developing the wisdom of the non-dual union of great bliss and empty again and again, by generating this mind again and again, and by meditating on it again and again. Once reaching the state, there is no difficulties. Because this mind is a very, very subtle mind. There is no any other mind subtle, more subtle than that. Once knowing how to use it, not only that, but appearing in the state of great bliss. When you talk about the wisdom of great, it's with an incredibly great bliss. When generating oneself within that state, there is only bliss. There is no any form of suffering. There is not even the sound of suffering. It's only bliss. Not only bliss, that through that great bliss it needs to realize the true nature of reality of emptiness, the object of emptiness. By the example clear light, that meditating, realizing emptiness as mental image, then from that after realizing directly emptiness. So from that, as the very subtle wind, as it manifests in the illusory body in the aspects of Hirukachakasambhara or Yamantaka, and then gradually creating the state of union of Vajradhara. In all this process, there is only bliss, there is nothing else than bliss. As it was just said in here, whereas the yogis in the primordial mind, that is the nature of great bliss, take the emptiness as the object and set themselves only on it. They do not operate any other elaboration. So by that the winds need to absorb, need to enter, need to remain, and need to absorb into the central channel. Once the mind enters into the certain channel in this way, then the mind becomes single-pointed. Such person that is able to realize such state is also called the spontaneous one, according to the previous Kagyu masters, such as Marpa and Milarepa, as a Thakpa, Lage, Gombopa, and other masters. They were called it as the spontaneous one. I don't have much knowledge about the lives of these masters. Also, the masters of this are original from the Kagyu lineage. So many great masters that have written, have given these teachings. But I have never read much the biography of these great masters. And even if I receive teachings from my master, I forgot many things. Memory is not always perfect. You are called the spontaneous, as it was said from the Kabe text. For a person who is with similar reminder of training from before, one should teach all at once or simultaneously. As Lama Tsongkhapa also said, for somebody who is familiar with the penetration of the wind in the central channel, it seems that the wind is gathered in the central channel by paying attention to any sort of observed object. Lama Tsongkhapa was really an incredible master, especially about, generally speaking, about emptiness, as Nagarjuna or Chandrakirti, they have explained in a very clear way, unmistaken. But having anyone as Lama Tsongkhapa explaining the emptiness and the teachings of Nagarjuna Chandrakirti with such clarity is very difficult to find, impossible to find someone else. And also the way of explaining the way of generating great bliss and the union of great bliss and emptiness, the way how Lama Tsongkhapa explained, unmistakenly clear, easily able to understand. The previous masters, they all understood it clear. It's possible to understand to the teacher, but not so easily. It's more difficult. Not difficult to understand clearly right away. The way of Lama Tsongkhapa explaining great bliss and clear light of great bliss, explaining so clearly, so easy to understand with great benefit to the mind, especially when speaking the meaning of emptiness, it's really clear without unmistakenly putting and making. The actual point, it always comes to the actual point of emptiness, to which Lama Tsongkhapa explained it in an unmistaken, so clearly way. It's incredible. When I go through the text of Lama Tsongkhapa, it somehow makes things easy and clear. As I said the other day, when we have a mind happy and relaxed mind, everything appears also, what we see, what we listen. It all appears also in a nice way, in a pleasurable way, as we can see in this way. For example, when we are in a state of great suffering, everything that appears also in a way of suffering. Everything appears in a way of suffering. When we experience great bliss, everything appears in a blissful way. As following as such examples, when the wind enters, absorbs into the central channel, and by focusing on a specific object, meditation, by making the winds to absorb into the central channel. Other ways to generate these states, it must be through the meditation of the inner heat of Tummo, such as Naropa and Marpa. So especially to the 6 yogas of Naropa, also as Milarepa actualized the Great Seal. As Milarepa said, Mahamudra is the castle of will, the 6 yogas of Naropa is the castle of meditation, the profound mean of path, the castle of conduct, the 3 spontaneously accomplished borders are the castle of result. Milarepa thus expressed a great deal of elegy to sing short of Tummo of him. Also the Dharma Sakya Pandita said the following with respect to the guiding commentary of the so-called 6 yogas of Naropa, there is no one like him before Milarepa. Things happen as mentioned. Also, Venerable Gampopa said, with the meditation upon Tummo in the beginning, one manifests so many things, such as the primordial mind. Thus, in order to meditate the Mahamudra indicated here, one must have received the 4 pure initiations and must have trained and so on in the path that are common in the generation stage, in the generation and completion stage, as underlined in the Tibetan alphabetical text. To a person who is a beginner of an activity, things should be indicated seriously. This person is called also by the term the serial one. Hence, the majority of Mahasiddhas of this path have received the initiation of each deity of highest Yoga Tantra and have also engaged in the respective Tantra. Also, Dharma Lord Sakya Pandita Kunga Gyaltsen said, Naropa mainly conferred initiation and taught the Dharma of the 2 stages. And Venerable Milarepa also said, if you who consider yourself as great, listen to it. You, my son, have the luck for the divine Dharma. If you give initiation and blessing the gateway of Tantra, I give you the profound oral instructions of the year's whispering lineage. In fact, so is also underlined by the text of the thought classification of the 3 vows, which says, my Mahamudra is an exalted wisdom resulting from initiation. It is a self-produced exalted wisdom deriving from the samadhi of 2 stages. Thus, there is nothing that does not comply with the intention of all audience and scholars and adepts. So, the meaning of this. As is for those who are practitioners in the beginning of the practice, first need to meditate on the Tummo fire for beginners, which is in the height of the navel, just below the navel, where they are meditating on the short arm. The first need to meditate on the Tummo fire with the short below the navel. Just as Milarepa also did by meditating on the 6 yogas of Naropa. As Naropa and Marpa so gave also instructions by first meditating on the 6 yogas of Naropa, and by that to realize the great seal of the Mahamudra. The 6 yogas of Naropa, I do not remember clearly the 6, but inside of that there is the illusory body and clear light and the transferences of consciousness and so on. By that, meditating on the inner fire of Tummo, by mainly meditating on the 6 yogas of Naropa, Milarepa have realized the Mahamudra. So as Lama Chopa said, Zong Castle actually means like the main one. Like when there's a small village, there is the zong, which is like the main house or like the castle at the center of a village. It like means the main. So Mahamudra is the castle of view. So in the six yogas of Europe is the castle of meditation. It's the main part of meditation. The profound meaning of the path is the castle of conduct. So it's the main conduct that we need to generate upon ourselves is the profound view. The three spontaneously accomplished of the bodies is the castle of the result. So thus was said by Milarepa. So he said, short eye is the tumor for him. Thus was said by Sakyapanita. With respect to the guiding commentary of the so-called six yogas of Naropa, there is no one like him. So he was saying like, Milarepa was able to practice this for others, it's not so easy to do in that way. So Jegamba also said, with the meditation upon Tummo in the beginning, one manifests so many things, such as the primordial mind. When practicing the Tantra, the clear light, need to think a lot about the clear light of Mahamudra and how we can use this mind is of great benefit. Thus, in order to meditate in the Mahamudra indicated here, which is the Mahamudra of Tantra, which is the wisdom of the non-dual union of great bliss and emptiness, such Mahamudra, it depends on having received first the four pure initiations and then practicing the generation and completion stage. And first need to be practiced on the common path, meditating on the generation stage. From within it mainly is the transforming death into the Dharmakaya, the birth into the Sambhavakaya, the rebirth into Nirmanakaya. This is the main part of the generation stage, is the three transformation of the three bodies. There are different parts of the generation stage, but the main part of the generation stage is the three transformation. If you meditate well on the transforming the death into the Dharmakaya, then you can really abandon the appearance, the ordinary appearance. If you're not able to meditate well on transforming death into Dharmakaya, it's not able to eliminate the ordinary appearance. I don't remember who wrote this text called Kape, translated as Tibetan alphabetical text. To a person who is a beginner of an activity, things should be identified seriously. So these two stages of completion, generation and completion stages, the main part of practice. I was saying to Milarepa, by listening well to the teachings of Milarepa, you have such luck. So if you who consider yourself as a great listener to it, you, my son, have the luck of the divine Dharma. I give you initiation blessing, the gateway of Tantra. I give you the profound oral instructions of the ear whispering lineage. Also it says in the text that throughout classification of the three vows, my Mahamudra is an exalted wisdom resulting from initiation. It is a self-produced exalted wisdom deriving from the samadhi of the two stages. So there's nothing that does not comply with the intention of authenticate scholars and adepts. So all the masters of the path, the great master, they have different ways of explaining. The words are a bit different, but the meaning, there is no contradiction in the meaning. So Now, I make also promise that presenting the Mahamudra of Sutra system in detail. The former refers to the ways of meditating on voidness as directly indicated, is an expanded and intermediate in breath. The supremely realized Arya Nagarjuna has said, except for this, there is no other pathway to liberation. Here I should give instructions on Mahamudra in accordance with his intentions and mention the technique of introducing the mind as taught by the Guru who possesses the lineage. Now it's starting the explanation of according to the sutra. So hence from the two techniques of meditation Mahamudra, that of the sutra system, the former is it is the technique of meditating on emptiness that is explicitly presented on subject matter of the expanded intermediate and brief mother text of the Prajna Paramita Sutras, the perfection of wisdom. In the technique of meditating on emptiness, is it admired by the sacred vitality of the path of all the three vehicles by the victors and his mother text. There is no other different type of path to the mukti, to liberation. That is not the technique of the following the verse of Nagarjuna. As he says, it is ascertained that this is the unique path to which the Buddha's sons and solitary realize, and for the hearers definitely devoted to. There is no other. As apart from this, also integrating the Vajra vehicle, there does not exist a different vision of the view that is higher than this that is the following lines of Venerable Sakya Pandita, as he says. As regards the perfection vehicle and sacred mantra, there is no explanation that the view being different. In case if there were a view that is higher than the one lacking elaboration in the perfection vehicle, that view then would be the one with elaboration. But if it were without elaboration, then there is no difference. Hence, the definitive meaning here in the commentary of the protector Nagarjuna predicted by the victor reopened the systems of trace left by the previous chariot. Among the followers, the great Atisha said, by whom is the emptiness realized? It is Nagarjuna, his disciple Chandrakirti, who have been predicted by the victor, the Buddha, and who have seen the reality, the truth, within the lineage that come from them. Then there is Buddhahood, not in vice versa. Thus I'm going to express accurately the precious oral instructions of the glorious Guru, who having received the guiding commentary on Mahamudra according to Chandrakirti's commentary on Nagarjuna's intention, possesses the uninterrupted lineage of blessing from the scholars and realized beings in regard to the technique of introducing the mind. Well then, why the mudra here is so called? It is because Samadhi Raja Sutra says the nature of all phenomena is the mudra. Thus the nature of all phenomena, the emptiness is the seal. And when this is realized, one liberated from all the iterations whereby it is a great supreme insight. So now let's go to the meaning of what we have just read. So, now we are actually starting the part explanation of the sutra. So this is the first one. He said again, making commitment, which is explaining that the root text says the former refers to the ways of meditating on the voidness. So previously I explained according to the Tantra, and now I'm going to explain according to the Sutra, the Mahamudra. So the meditation of Mahamudra is the actual meditation of emptiness. There is no other path to liberation other than emptiness itself, as Nagarjuna have said. So here I shall give instruction Mahamudra in accordance with his intentions and mention the technique of introducing the mind as taught by the Guru who possesses the lineage. So I'm going to explain the Mahamudra just as in accordance to Nagarjuna and in accordance to the masters of the lineage. Hence among the two techniques of meditation of Mahamudra, that of the sutra system. The former is, it is the meditation on the actual meaning of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom. As Nagarjuna said, it is certain that this is the unique path to which the Buddha sends, and the solitary realize, and therefore for the hearers definitely devoted to. There is no other. So the meaning which is shown in the three versions of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom, and which is the profound pathway, which is the actual meaning of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom. This wisdom that realizes emptiness, as was taught by the sutras, this is the actual Mahamudra according to the sutra. Generally speaking, in Buddhist teachings, there are different ways of dividing Buddhist teachings, different forms of sutras and so on, but as it says in the perfection teachings, from all the sutras of Buddha, the most precious and the most important is the extended, middle and short version of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom. As it was asked to Ananda, said you should not write even one word wrong on the Sutras of Perfection of Wisdom. Keep it well. The other sutras, if you do not memorize the other sutras, this is not, I have no, if you forget, if you keep the sutras of perfection of wisdom and you forget all the rest, then you are still keeping my lineage, you are still keeping my teachings. You are following my way. So the sutra of perfection of wisdom is extremely important. Why is this? Because the sutras of perfection of wisdom is showing the way of realizing the emptiness, the stages to realize emptiness. A total of 16 volumes of the short, middle and long version. This is extremely important emptiness. It's very important. So in Buddha Sutra there are 16 volumes of it. Buddha Shakyamuni, our Tresme said, profound. The first words the Buddha said when after realizing, or after reaching enlightenment, profound and peaceful flow of elaborations and non-compound such a nectar I have found. Whoever I explained, I will not be able to understand, so I remain by myself, meditating alone in the forest, meditating. This is the first words that Buddha said as he reached enlightenment. I have found such a nectar. So emptiness is extremely important. Emptiness is extremely important. All the other aspects of the path, it doesn't matter how much you meditate. If you do not meditate on emptiness, there is no possible to be liberated from samsara, impossible to reach enlightenment without meditating on emptiness. By meditating on emptiness, it's possible to cut away the root of samsara. And together with that, need also to meditate on bodhicitta and great compassion and love. He's then with great bliss, with a very subtle mind. This is not enough. It must meditate on emptiness, but may realize directly emptiness. That's why we need to put method and wisdom together, inseparable method and wisdom. So emptiness is extremely important. The method to realize emptiness, we need to put effort, and for that we need to accumulate a lot of merit and purify negativities in order to realize emptiness. Emptiness is extremely important. So such important emptiness, who really put it so clearly about emptiness was Lama Tsongkhapa. He made it extremely clear, differently than others. All the most specific and difficult points, he made them very clearly. So here that the three versions of the Sutra of Perfection of Wisdom is extremely important. Emptiness is extremely important. As I said in the Sutra of Buddha, in order to, if you wish to realize the state of emptiness, those that like to realize emptiness, those that have this intention, once they have, There is nothing incredible by all other forms of knowledge and regret. If you really want to realize emptiness, you don't need to have attachment to any other forms of great knowledge and so on. Put effort only in emptiness itself. Well, maybe we understand a little bit about emptiness, but this doesn't mean that we realize emptiness. It doesn't give us necessarily so much joy. We do have some understanding about that, but even though we are not able to practice as much as we understand, so we have our minds completely taken by other things. We are taken by our defilements. We're taken by defilements. And so by that we're not able to realize emptiness because we do not focus all the attention into it. We just know a little bit about it, but we're not really able to put it into practice completely. If we really put it into practice, it brings great, great benefit. It says in the Manjushri Namasangita. Where it says, seeing phenomena as they are correctly. The mind that realizes emptiness. If once we have this, then it's possible to eliminate this taste of samsara by cutting its root, the grasping at inherent existence. And by that it's possible to cut away the root of samsara. It's a word from the Manjushri Namasangita which he is reciting. So to wish to realize emptiness, to put effort into it, giving away the 8 mundane dharmas. And this we need to think on that. It's very important. So as Nagarjuna said, it is certain that there is a unique path to which the Buddha Son solitary hearers and hearers definitely devote to. There is no other path than the one of the Sutra of perfection of wisdom. Also Sakya Pandita saying, as regard to the perfection of wisdom and the sacred mantra, there is no difference between. There is no other higher way of realizing emptiness. Between the emptiness of Sutra and Tantra, they are the same. There is no higher view than the view of emptiness. There is no difference between the Sutra and the Tantra regarding to emptiness. Hence, the definitive meaning here is a commentary that Nagarjuna predicted. Reopen the system of trace among the followers, the great Atisha said. By whom is the emptiness realized? It is Nagarjuna and his disciple Chandrakirti who have been predicted by the Buddhas and who have seen the reality, the truth. Within the lineage that came from them, there is Buddhahood, not in none other way. That I'm going to express currently the precious oral instructions of the glorious Guru who have received the guiding commentary of Mahamudra according to Chandrakirti's commentary on Nagarjuna's intention, possesses the uninterrupted lineage of blessings and a color realizing regarding. So this means Panchen Losang Choky Gyaltsen is going to explain Mahamudra in accordance to the teaching he received from Kedra Sangye Yeshe. By that, however, the technique that introduces the mind. Well then, So Panchen Losang Choky Gyaltsen is root Guru Sangye Yeshe. I'm going to explain it just as him. I'm going to introduce the mind just as it was done by Panchen Sangye Yeshe, which comes from an pure uninterrupted lineage, which is the actual Buddha himself. The way how the introduction of the mind is given in accordance to my own root Guru and the lineage that comes from pure lineage comes from that. Well then, why the Mahamudra here is so called? It is because in the Samadhi Raja Sutra says the nature of all phenomena is mudra. So mudra refers to emptiness. Seal refers to emptiness. Because once realizing emptiness, it had liberated from all suffering. We talk about excellent or great. So the wisdom that realizes emptiness is called great. Thus the nature of all phenomena, the emptiness, is the seal mudra. All the results of liberation and so on, they all come from the realization of such emptiness. So, this indicates that although there have been many 18 divisions within Buddhist doctrine, they are similar and accomplish the complete liberation. Similarly, although there are many traditions regarding the way of accepting Mahamudra, they are similar in attaining this resultant union state in order for you to expert with the result. So saying there are different ways, so I'm going to explain them. In order for you to expert in with respective subdivisions of each and every tradition, holding the following root text explains. Here he is explaining the different forms of traditions explaining Mahamudra. From the root text says, from the point of view of individually ascribed names, there are numerous traditions, such as those of co-emergent actions, the amulet box, possessing 5, the equal taste, the 4 syllables, the pacifier, the object to be cut off, dzogchen, they are and the guiding commentary on the view of the middle way. There are 9 different ways of which are explained here. Nevertheless, when scrutinized by yogi, learned in a scripture and logic, they have different names. The different ways have different names, such as dzogchen or the pacifier or the guide way to the middle way. Nevertheless, when scrutinized by yogi, learned in scripture and logic, when looked upon by great knowledge, but a great yogi that knows well how to understand the actual meaning of Buddha's teachings, and knows how to divide what is the actual teachings and what is to be interpreted, and experience in meditation, that also have experience in meditation. Such a yogi, their definitive meanings are all seen to come to the same intended point. So all these different lineages and traditions, their actual meaning, they always come down to the same point. They are just different ways of calling. So now he's going to explain one by one. In refers to that, the Lord Gampopa used to guide his disciples by way of possessing the 6 yogas and the 5, and the application for the simultaneously born. Regarding the application of the simultaneously born, there are different ways in which the word simultaneously born is written. However, the meaning of the following stanza of Gampopa's text says, the mind itself that simultaneously arises is the Dharmakaya. The conceptions that simultaneously arrive are the waves of Dharmakaya. The illusion that simultaneously arrives is the light of Dharmakaya. The inseparable illusion and mind arrive simultaneously. Is that the preliminary explained from the context of three paths? The preliminary that has four applications on the basis of taking belief, respect, and averting adherence as principle. The actual, the two aspects of introduction. The last to carry them out based on the gathering some experiences. So here the first system is according to Gambopa, as from Tapo Lage. I don't know so much about their lives. I've never read so much their biography. As a disciple of Milarepa. So he had this way of guiding the disciples. From their own text it says, the mind that is spontaneous, the rest that comes, this is the actual clear light. It's the basis of the Dharmakaya. The conception of simultaneously arises as the waves. As like in the ocean, there are many waves. The conceptions that arise simultaneously is like the waves of the basis of the Dharmakaya. The illumination that simultaneously arises is the light of the Dharmakaya. The inseparable illumination of the mind arises simultaneously. It's like the result. So basically they're applying everything with the Dharmakaya. So the meaning of this the belief, the preliminary that has four applications on the basis of taking belief, respect, taking belief, respect, and averting, like aversion to the suffering of samsara is the main part. So it's also giving end. So the two actual refer to introduction to shamatha and vipassana. Here they are talking about different traditions, meditation of Mahamudra, which mostly come from the Kagyupa tradition, for Milarepa and Gampopa and other masters called it together the Tapa. Okay. I don't know much about them, so I'm just like giving some explanation according to my understanding. Maybe not everything is correct. The next system is called the amulet box in the system of the Kyumbo, meaning that it's taught by way of the three followings. Preliminary, the three types of natural, actual, natural liberation from the four faults, and result, natural drawing of the three kayas. The actual part is also called the recognition of tif, the principal guidelines. Then the principal guidelines of the instruction from the Shangpa Kagyu are the 6 yogas of Niguma. The 6 are first, Tumo, the foundation stone path. Second, illusory body, the self-liberation from attachment and hatred. 3, dream, self-awakening out of disturbed sleep. 4, clear light, dissipating darkness of ignorance. 5, Poa, Buddhahood without meditation. And 6, intermediate state, the Sambhogakaya of victors. The principle of the amulet box is also the technique of meditating the clear light from the 6 yogas. The 5 possessings are the first main part of meditation is the one which is called clear light, dissipating darkness of ignorance. Kyaje Trijang was also one of the gurus of Lama Chopa. He is from the Shangpa Kagyu lineage. different lineages inside the Kagyu. Before I knew these things very well, now I forgot about them. Like the Shamba Kargyu and the Jikun Kargyu and Tapo Kargyu and Drupa Kargyu, Karma Kargyu, Shamba Kargyu, and Jikun Kargyu. There are many different lineages of the Kargyu. The second is Kidru Kyumpo from the Shamba Kargyu lineage. It's from the central Tibet, from this region called from Shampa. Shampa means the teachings come from masters from this central part of Tibet. Its main teachings is called the 6 yogas of Nigu, which is to more illusory body, dream, clear light, power, and intermediate state. I don't know so much the meaning of this. The principle of the amulet box is for the techno meditating in clear light. The next one is called the 5 possessings, which the first is the Dakpo lineage has a large number of victorious activities when the Lokeshvara sings the Ruda songs. If you do not make a session of running the benefits, others with the male horse of the mind of enlightenment, there won't be any applaud from the God and human at the market. Therefore, put accent in this preliminary mind of enlightenment. Second, if you do not hold to a permanent fixed place for your own king-like body of deity, you will not have gathering to encounter the Dakinis. Therefore, put accent on generating your body as deity. 3. If the sun of belief and respect does not rise upon the snowy mountain of the Guru's 4 bodies, there cannot be a west, a water stream of blessings. Therefore, put accent on the mind that believe and respect. 4th, when the mass of conceptualization cloud does not evaporate in the vast space of the very mind, the constellations of the 2 exalted knowledges are not clear. Therefore, put accent on that non-conceptualizing mind. And the 5th, for the wish-fulfilling gem of the 2 accumulations, if you do not make it clear with prayers, you will not realize the activities that you need and wish. Therefore, put an accent on the dedication afterward. So these are the 5, called the 5 possessing. So the first, in 5 possessions, the first is the Dakpo lineage has a large number of virtual activities. First you need to meditate on bodhicitta, giving. If you do not meditate on bodhicitta in the beginning, then you won't be applauded receive any applaud from the God. Numerous. Therefore, put an X in the preliminary mind of enlightenment. So first thing, practice bodhicitta. Need to think well about the generation of bodhicitta. Second is, if you do not hold on a permanent fixed place for your own king-like body of deity, you will not have the gathering of and treasure of the Dakinis. Therefore, put accent on the generation of this body. In order to generate one, you need to generate clearly oneself, as for instance, as Heroka Chakra Sambhara. Need to make, if you do not make this stable, by that, if not, then the Dakinis will not come to bless you. First, you need to have yourself clearly as the deity. If you do that, then all the Dakinis will come. The third one is more easy. If the sun of belief and respect does not rise upon the snowy mountain of the Guru's bodies, there cannot be any water stream of lesson. Therefore, put accent on the mind of belief and respect. You see the Guru, your root Guru, as a snow mountain. If the sun does not shine on the snow mountain, the snow cannot come into water. So this is the sun that goes to the mountain of the Guru, is the faith and respect and gratitude. So you need to generate constantly respect and gratitude. If you do not do that, you cannot receive the water stream of blessings. The persons, when the mass of conceptualization and clouds do not evaporate in the vast space of the very mind, the constellations of the two exalted knowledge are not clear. Therefore, put accent and on that non-constant truth. This is meditating on emptiness, based on the example of space, the simple non-existence of constructive or obstructive contact. Because when we talk emptiness, is the simple non-existence of the object of negation. So this is a very similar relation between space and emptiness itself. When meditating on emptiness, we need to eliminate all sorts of projections in the mind. If you do not do that, it's not possible to have to develop the two knowledges of the relating the relative and the absolute. It's not possible to realize the two without realizing emptiness. Generally speaking, Buddha talked about emptiness. If you really think about that, it's really incredible. It's really incredible. From emptiness, there is no attachment, no aversion, no defilements that arise from it. It's real antidote for attachment, for aversion, for ignorance, emptiness itself. Just as in the same way for the space, there is no point of having attachment or aversion to space. The same thing is from emptiness also. So it's incredible how Buddha explained it. If emptiness would be some sort of form, then we can have attachment to it. If it has a form, then we can have aversion, attraction, and so on. It doesn't have any form, just like the space. There is no attachment to it. So it's really incredible how Buddha taught us an antidote to our defilements, and the true antidote is emptiness itself. For the wish fulfilling gem of the two accumulations, if you do not make it clear with prayer, you will not realize the activity that you need to wish therefore. So if you do not do the two accumulations, and if you do not dedicate it well for enlightenment, then out of anger or pride or jealousy and envy and so on, then you can eliminate, you can destroy such merits that you have accumulated. So that's why you truly need to dedicate well. Therefore, put accent in dedication afterwards. Just as in the 7 limb prayers we pray as when we pray, then in the end we always dedicate for enlightenment. So if we dedicate for enlightenment the merits, then they cannot be destroyed later. The merits cannot be harmed. The preliminaries from the lineage of the Daramsala Choky are the 8 great Ganden commentaries, the 6 spheres of equal taste, And the third is the recommendation of sincere practice on the mountain. Furthermore, the 8 great guiding commentaries are the guiding commentary on the Trikayas, the guiding commentary on love and compassion, the guiding commentary on law of cause and effect, the guiding commentary on the drop and nectar possessing the 5, on the application of simultaneous born one, on the 6 yogas of Naropa, about equalizing the 8 worldly dharmas, and finally the guiding commentary about meditation on how to revert to sacred conduct. Also again here from the Kyaje lineage. I don't know so much about this. It was an emanation of Naropa. I heard that before. Of the Lord, Dharma Lord Gyare. So from the Lord Dharma Lord Gyare, there is the 8 great guiding commentaries, the 6 spheres of equal taste, and the recommendation of sincere practice on the mountain. So from that, which are the 8 commentaries? The commentary of the 3 kayas, the 3 bodies of love and compassion, cause and effect and independent arising, of the drop nectar possessing 5, on the application of simultaneous born 1, 6 yogas on Naropa, equalizing the 8 worldly dharmas, and meditation to refer the secrets. And the 6th sphere of equal tastes are taking superstition as the path, taking afflictions as path, taking sickness as path, taking gods and spirits as path, taking suffering as the path, and taking death as the path. The profound Dharma at the mountain has 2 groups of ornaments. The 4 ornaments of profound Dharma and the 3 ornaments that are the oral instructions on the 3 essential volumes. The first group of 4 are first, the Dharma at mountain, source of all secrecy, big bolt of initiation. Third, the hidden explanation of the Vajra body, and fourth, the guiding commentary on intermediate states. The second of the 3 are 1, nakedly guiding commentary, an ornament that dissipate interference. Second, an ornament that is an index of the 100,000s of songs. And third, an ornament that is a small collection of various fragmentive sections. It's a little difficult thing, it's not so easy to understand the meaning of this verse, of these words. In regard to the 4 syllables, so we have the different systems of meditation. The known attention is explained by quoting its equivalent term, amanashe in Sanskrit. Its meaning is thus presented here by the way of 4 syllables as the following. Amanashe, the 4 syllables. First is to find out the basis of the mind. Second is to show the technique of placing the mind. Third is to find out the misunderstanding of mind. Fourth is to show how it takes things as path. These are the 4 syllable system. When we had the 9 systems above, the one of them was the 4 syllables. The first to find the base of the mind from the Amanasi, the 4 sounds. I don't know much about the systems. So this meaning is explained in 4 lines. First is to find out the basis of the mind. As we understand a little bit. Understanding the Veda in the natural, fundamental mind of clear light. Second is showing the technique of meditation. Third is to find the main understanding of mind. We need to find which is the defilements that we need to eliminate. And the fourth is to show how it takes into the path, how to take this mind into the path. This is the four-syllable system. The holy Dharma of Padamba Sangha that pacifies the suffering of the followings which are mentioned when he met Venerable Milarepa. In the Heart Sutra it says, the mantra that pacifies completely emptiness as a suffering. So, the way of pacifying suffering. Holy Dharma of Padamba Sangha, which calls the one that pacifies the sufferings, which says, when the Holy Dharma, the pacifier of suffering, subdues the demons of male and female yakshas, a magical will of yogic disciplines will be settled. When a sickness occurs in the body, the Dharma Dhatu and the awareness are mixed into one. When a minimum superstition arises, you should crush the affliction. When you sleep alone immediately, your awareness deploys it nakedly. When you are settled among multitude, watch at whatever that appears in front. When the mind is drowsy, rouse with a pe. When it absconds, investigate in detail. When it is excited, place it on Dharma Dhatu. When it follows an object outside, watch just that object as an aim. When occurs bad omen, take it as good luck. By means of this holy Dharma, the pacifier of suffering, delight yourself in whatever the superstition is. Be delightful in addition when occurs sickness. Delight yourself whatever the event is. When the death comes, inspire yourself on the path. Delight yourself regardless of how the death lord is. The holy Dharma, the pacifier of suffering, is the intention of the victories of the three times. Although there are varieties of the names of nominating the title of advices, such as the object of the cutoff, and an advice from Padamba Sangha, the profound Dharma of Machi Labdram is widely known as the instruction of the Dzogchen, Maha Sampana, such as the garland of veil, that are the extracted essence of the heart of Guru Padmasambhava. The guiding commentary on the profound will of the middle way and so on, they all fall upon the same intended point, without contradicting each other. So as now Rinpoche goes back through the text and is explaining the verses of Padamba Sangha. When the sickness occurs when there is sickness in the body, the mind and the body both, they are together as one. It is said that as one. When the sickness occurs, the body, the Dharma Dhatu, the awareness are mixed into one. When a minimal superstition arises, need to apply antidote right away. Whenever whatever defilement arises, we need to apply antidote right away. When you sleep alone intimately, your awareness is poised nakedly. To the mind, to the nature state of mind of clear light, there is not many objects that appear to it. Just similarly, when sleeping very peacefully, when sleeping intimately, deeply, there's no any other minds appearing, just that you can reflect upon the meaning of clear light by that. When you are sitting with many people, You need to observe your own mind. What am I saying? What I'm thinking? Is it okay? Not? Should I do this or not? We should observe our own mind. So when around many people, you need to look upon your own mind. When the mind is drowsy, it's lazy and so on, then you should make strong sound of pe. When the mind is too much around, too much distracted, you should go back to its roots. When it's too excited, place it in emptiness and then with that. When it follows an object outside, watch just that object as an aim. When the mind is just going too much around, then focus just on one object itself. When occurs a bad omen, take it as good luck. Because I am meditating on emptiness, nothing can harm me. Whatever happen. It cannot harm me because I am in nature of emptiness. I'm meditating on emptiness. Delight yourself in whatever the superstition is. Be delightful in addition to when occurs sufferance. Even if I get sickness, it cannot harm me because I'm meditating on emptiness. When comes death also, it cannot harm me. Delight yourself regardless of how the Lord of Death is. The Holy Dharma, the pacifier of suffering, is the intention of the victors of the three times. The meditation and the realization of emptiness is the actual intention of the Buddhas of the three times. So just as was said, when we talk about the Dharma, there are different ways of naming this different. So here is using the word cut, is the word to cut off. So although there are various names of nominated title, but devices such as the object to be cut off from Padampa and the profound Dharma from Panchen Losang, which is the practice of church that we normally know. Chut means to cut in Tibetan. It's coming from Padampa Sangha. The practice of chut is coming from Padampa Sangha that we went to cut to Panchen Losang. Also the instructions of Dzogchen, such as the garland wheel, that are the extracted essence from the heart of Guru Padmasambhava, that nowadays is very well known in Dzogchen practice. This is a teaching text from Guru Padmasambhava. It's called the garland wheel, which is extracted from the essence of the heart of Guru Padmasambhava, the Dzogchen teachings. And then the guiding commentary on the profound view of the middle way, which is the one that normally we follow as we call the commentary on the middle way. From Padampa Sangha and Panchen Losang and Guru Padmasambhava, Dzogchen instructions. There's not a detailed explanation of them, of if they are Kagyupa or if they are Gelupa or whatever. There is no any distinction between them. And such as the guidance of the middle way, and so on, they all fall upon the same intended point without contradicting each other. like hot and cold when analyzed well by one is learned in scripture. So there are no contradictions such as hot and cold when there is well analyzed by scripture and logic and discriminate exactly the provisional meaning and definitive meaning. It is as the Bimala Prabha Sutra says. So they all come to the same point. So by a yogi of great knowledge and experience, they are not different, they are not contradictory, these different systems. Just as there being different names for the earth, there are also different names in different divisions of jewels due to different places. The jewels themselves never have any difference. Even there are many different types of jewels, they are all from the nature of stone. They are all stones, but they have different names. But they are all stones. So when I talk, there are so many different forms of precious stones. There is no contradiction between them because they are all the nature of earth, they are nature of stone. Just in the same way, according to Mahamudra, many great masters, they have different ways of explaining it, but finally it comes to the same meaning. All of them, when looking from the yogi with experience and knowledge, they will all say that they all come to the same point. They will all come to the same point when looking, when being clearly observed by someone with knowledge and experience. Well then, what are the stages of meditating that Mahamudra? The root text says, of the two main techniques of Sutra tradition and of Mahamudra, seeking to meditate on mind through a correct view of reality and seeking a correct view through meditation. I shall explain here in accordance with the later technique. As was said by Shantideva, the higher seeing that really possesses the calm abiding destroys completely the afflictions. Having known that, one should seek first the calm abiding. Also, at Ratnakutta Sutra says, by abiding on morality, one obtains samadhi, and after obtaining samadhi, one cultivates wisdom. Thus, it is a system of views on the base of meditation is said. If it is so, then what the technique of cultivating calm abiding? The answer is that this technique has two things, preparation and the actual. So, such as the Maitreya in the Sutra Nankara says, the place where the intelligent ones cultivate samatha should have an easy access to find the needs, a good place, a good ground, and good friends. Also, the yogi should have the right necessity. So, this Maha Sutra, there are different ways of explaining the Mahamudra. This part we have completed. So now we are now explaining the stages of meditation of Mahamudra. So it comes as a question, oh well then, what are the stages of meditating in Mahamudra? And the answer comes from the root text. Of the two main techniques, seeking to meditate through a correct view of reality and seeking a correct view through meditation. I shall explain here in accordance to the later technique. One is first thinking about the view and then meditation. Meditation means the developing of shamatha and vipassana. First to think, reflect upon the view and then to meditate. Then the other way is first to realize the shamatha and vipassana, then to find the correct view. These are two different ways. As was said by even though there are these two systems, Shantideva said, the higher seeing of reality possesses the calm abiding, destroys completely the afflictions. Having known that, one should first seek calm abiding. By developing calm abiding and the profound view, then, so without calm abiding it's not possible to develop profound view. Without shamatha, no vipassana. So first we should first of all develop calm abiding. It was also said by the sutra, it says, by abiding on morality, one has obtained the samadhi, and after obtaining the samadhi, one cultivates wisdom. So first they have the training, the higher training of morality, then do the higher training of concentration, and from that the higher training of wisdom. So the basis of the three trainings is first the training of morality, then concentration, and then wisdom. Thus, in a system where the view is sought on the basis of meditation is set. So based on that, as Maitreya said, the Sutranaka, the place talking about the first preparation for developing the calm abiding. It is the place where the intelligent one cultivates shamatha, should have an easy access to find the needs, a good place, a good ground, and good friends. Also, the yogi should have the right necessity. Thus, he explains that one should settle within a pure morality at such a described place, and then she, with a few desire and knowledge of contentment, should necessarily rely upon the branches or the collection of the causes of calm abiding, and should do the 6 preliminary practices. So first of all, the most important is without too many thoughts, without many projections. There are many different causes to develop shamatha, but the calm abiding first is to have a pure morality and not having too many thoughts, too many projections. And by that should do also the 6 preliminary practices, such as cleaning and purifying the place of meditation and so on, and placing well the offerings and preparing the altar. And as the root text says, on a seat conducive for mental stability, assume the 7-fold bodily posture and clear yourself by the means of the 9-round breathing meditation, throughout cleansing your state of awareness, and then, with a purely positive mind, do first the taking of refuge in ration of bodhicitta. Meditate next on the profound path of Guru Yoga, and after making hundreds of very strong fervent requests, dissolve your visualized Guru into yourself. It means that the purely virtuous mind refers to the mind of enlightenment. The profound path of Guru Yoga refers to the Guru Yoga, in which all the paths are complete, which is said a part of rest is considered to have been understood. So instead, these verses are quite easy to understand. So first you should sit in a conductive for mental stability, and you should sit in the 7-fold bodily, the 7 postures of Vairocana, or the 8 postures of Vairocana. By that you should clear your mind by doing the 9-cycle breathing meditation. So first you block the left nostril, and then you inhale from the right, and so on. So all the defilements of aversion you should put away from the right side. And then when you inhale from the left, imagine that you take all the qualities of love and compassion. Then when you stop the right one, and then you exhale from the left, then imagine that all the defilements of attachment and desire goes away. And when you inhale, you get the antidote of attachment, such as the awareness of impermanence and death. So imagine that this comes in the mind of satisfaction comes in. So you do 3 times from each side. And when you do from both nostrils together, you do this 9 times altogether, 3, 3, 3. By doing that, you make your mind clear. This will help to make the mind clear, to stop the different projections and bring the mind to a neutral state, to bring the mind to a pure state of mind, a positive mind. This means that a purely virtuous mind refers to the mind of enlightenment. the profound path of the Guru Yogas. Anyhow, saying that these verses are quite simple to understand. So the Guru Yoga is extremely very important. Very often we talk about Guru Yoga. There is nothing beyond the Guru Puja that we need. Or the Guru Yoga with the Guru Yoga of Lama Chopa Ganden Mahamudra. But we don't need to meditate. If we meditate to dwell on one, this is the actual Guru Yoga, which is enough. Or the 6 Guru Yoga and 6 sessions Guru Yoga. By thinking well on the Guru Yoga, generating well the merit field of merit. And that is very important to meditate on the Guru Yoga. It's very important. Having done the preliminary stage in that way, I should explain now the method for achieving the abundance of mind. So today we will stop here. So everything that was explained, please put it well into practice. So now we dedicate all the merits that we have here generated for the benefit of the teachings and all sentient beings, especially may the teachings of Lama Chopa remain and spread clearly in this world. We make now the mandala offering as a gratitude for having receiving these profound teachings on Mahamudra.
Kembe Ganda Mela Laba Zhe Dorje Chang Yango Zowa La De Zanze Shenlo Genjo Gengo Du Ala Jaro Sonde Longla Londo Tabe Dala Zoya, Meja Tange Debe Doji, Seri Limbo Jijin Jebe Go, Nije Zazan Chugi Rim, Gebe Yani Jimbe Shadin Jo, Tode Kala Shaye Din, Nere Meja Ranzi Drabo Go, Chanda Mimbe Yanle Gebe, Jingye Dome Lamra Zuwandi, Tode Sunzi Jimbe Din, Tonde Dembe Debe Bolon Da Song Ye Sanwa Nena Gao Deje Guandan Dembe Shade Jong Oye Musa Jaja Mingwa Ye Song Ye Sanwa Nembe Mezemba Dede Gade Jembe So Jene Dado Jembe Jala Swa Gombo Jeje Jage Dane Mo Tenje Jeje Jage Damba Jembe Dambe Jene Do Jeje Nene Nena Lamo Shade Jene Gadani Jene Jeje Nemo Jene Gade Dede Jeje Laya Name Gade Jela So Jeje Nane Gode Rabdi Nawa Jene Jojo Jebana Lola Dembe Jeme Sos Jeye Meze Dada Nejoji Jeye Deje Meye Degogi Nige Namba Deje Shen Sheche Shade Rye Shende Ye Nala Demba Ngozo Dendo Zo Dede No Mede Zo Eni Akaya Do Yamba Ka Jie Sa Yamba Eni Loi Mi Ma Di Ge Do Yen Do Wa Yen Na Di Ja Ye Wa Bo Ye Da Ye Jo Ye Ma Ye Se Mi Se La Ye Guen Da Jan Bi Yan Ji Zi Ye Ji Zoi Ye Mi Yen Ba Gu Zoi La Ji Nye Ne Zhui Bi Ji Na Nye Ji Na Ye Ji Ji Do Bi La Ji Ne Shu Ye Zha Ye Zi Bi Zha Bi Ta Ge Ji No Ye Ye Ji Me Ma Ye Se Ji Ja Bi De Ma Ye Rin Zi Ji Ji Ye Ma Rin Ji Cho Ge Ma Jam Ja Ye Nyam Ma Ji Bi Cho De Ne Ye Ji Chen Bi Ye Ra Ye Je Ba Ye Pen De 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 Se Wa Ye Je Ba Ye Jo Se Je Ja Ye Me Jo Ye Che Le 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 Zhui Chan Zhui La Ji Rin Be Zhao Tai De Nam Ji Ye Lai Be De Shi Ya Wen Ze Ba Rin Dui Gyong Jo Ji Lai Sai Zhui Be Tu Ji Zhu Ji Ji Ye Ji Se Ji Mi Dai Mi Mi Gu Ce Rai Gun Du Ja Vi Ma Ba Yi Nai Dai Lai Dai Je Wai Ma Chu Ji Ka Zi Te Bai Cho Lai Chu Ji Ji Zi Ji Zhu Lai Zi Bai De Ye Zi To De Nan Ji Da Do Cho Ji Ji Zha Xi Jian Zi Cho Gu Cho Yu